Podcasting's reputation as a bros club has been sadly well earned, but we can change that. Here's a look at just some of the women in podcasting who are making podcasting better every single day. Hello and welcome to another podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Happy International Women's Day! Woohoo! I, markedly, as you can probably tell, am not a woman. However, I have to acknowledge the fact that I would quite literally not be here if it weren't for women. And no, I'm not just talking about obvious things like my lovely mother and my lovely wife, who, are big factors in my life. No, I'm talking about podcasting overall. Women that I have encountered with, women that I had helped me along the way, who I've collaborated with, who have really made everything that you see today work. So I'm just going to roll through a few of those names, people that you may know, but you may not know. So let me clue you in to the women that have made everything that you're listening to and watching today really, really happen. So early on in the podcasting space, I have to thank a woman by the name of Mur Lafferty. Hi, Mur. Mur was one of the first, if not the first, person who I collaborated with that I didn't know. I was listening to Mur's podcast and reached out and said, hey, do you want to collaborate and put a segment on the podcast that me and my partner were making? And she said, yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. She didn't hesitate whatsoever. And Mur is still podcasting today, 16, 17 years later. She is the editor for Escape Pod, the sci-fi anthology magazine / podcast, and also hosts I Should Be Writing, because she is a novelist by trade, a writer by trade, and probably lots of other things that I'm not even sure of. So thank you, Mur, for that. Also, speaking of early ons, Simpler Media wouldn't be Simpler Media without Susan Schwartz, who is sitting I believe, watching this as we're recording it live on LinkedIn right now. Susan was the first client I had at my company, Simpler Media, that I didn't know. And she's still with me today, which is pretty amazing. So check out Lush Life podcast. And thank you, Susan, for your years of friendship, as well as being a client and really getting the business off the ground. Simpler Media wouldn't exist were it not for one Allie Press. Now, when my business became real after I got back to America and more clients started coming out of the woodwork, I got really busy, needed some help, and I reached out to Allie. I've known Allie since she was a teenager and said, do you want to help out? And she does. And she does an amazing job. Transcripts, subtitles, audiograms, and she posts literally every single episode, not of Podcast Pontifications because of timing, but every episode that Simpler Media produced, Allie has the last touch of that. She is integral to the future of Simpler Media and the way we do things around here. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say a big, huge thank you to Sam Walker from the award-winning Sam Walker's Desert Diaries. She's also producer of a myriad of different shows. But Sam, she's from the BBC. What became a friendship over here is now going to become the next evolution of this company, of Simpler Media. Just being attached to and working with Sam has taught me so much about how podcasts are made and is going to completely change the way Simpler Media operates in the coming year. It's really fantastic to be working with someone of her caliber. Now, of course, I've met and worked with some really amazing women podcasters over the years, far too many to list, and probably just for fear of leaving someone out. So I do not want to do that, which is why I'm being very, very specific of these. But I do have to put a special thanks out and a mention to Steph Colburn. Steph runs Edit Audio up in Canada, and Steph and I have what I call a bi-directional mentorship program. I'm not sure who's a mentor and who's the mentee, but I really look forward to the every other week when Steph and I jump on the video for an hour or so. I learn a lot. I guess I'm teaching a lot, but it's been a really fantastic experience. So thank you, Steph, for the ongoing professional relationship. I have to thanks to the many attendees of the PHX Podcast Club, which has been on hiatus, like a lot of things from the lockdown, although we are now transitioning to a distanced style event, so we'll be doing that once again. Most of the people who used to attend PHX Podcast Club were women. Predominantly women who were there. But I need to shout out particularly to Mei Ling Chan. May, thank you very much. Her podcast, Exceptional Leaders with an X, Exceptional Leaders, is great and was really instrumental in making sure that PHX Podcast Club became something more than just sat inside of my head, became a real thing. So thank you to Mei Ling. And coming back full circle to the way I started podcasting way back in 2004 was centered around fiction. I was interviewing people, interviewing authors. That's how I got to meet Mur, by the way. But now fiction podcasting is still a big part of my life as a listener, not a producer, but as a listener. So I need to say thank you to Leslie D. Joyce for a collaboration that we're just getting started right now to help spread the word of more podcast fiction. And I will put a link to the newsletter that Leslie is curating. It's called FicPodShare. And the ficpodshare.substack.com, but I'll have a link to that in the episode details. Thank you very much, Leslie, for wrangling that and making it real so more people can experience great podcast fiction. And, of course, I have to thank my regular live watchers, Ms. Susie Buttress of Casual Birder, as well as Betty Danawick from If You Ask Betty. So, Betty, Susie, thank you very much. You're almost always here 4 days a week as I record this live on LinkedIn, and it's great to see your faces and also get your feedback and hear your questions and all those things. It's really been wonderful. But so many more people, so many more women need to be thanked in podcasting. So I will just simply end on this one with Happy International Women's Day to everyone. Women really, truly do make podcasting better. Let's support them in all of their efforts. And with that, I shall be back tomorrow with yet another podcast, Pontifications. Cheers!